Alright, so I haven't been reviewing chapters all too much as of recently when it comes to Fairy Tail because I just haven't really been feeling it with Fairy Tail as of recently. However, this week's chapter is just something that I need to discuss for really numerous reasons. So without further ado, let's just dive into this. In terms of the August situation, shit is really starting to hit the fan. From the start of this fight, I honestly just knew the hero would find some way to kill off August, and it looks as if August attempted to nuke everyone within the vicinity of the battlefield, only to then disappear out of thin air after seeing Mavis. So from this, for the most part, it looks as if August is gone for good. Now, when reading this, I nearly had a fit. This is some of the stupidest shit I think I've ever read in terms of Fairy Tail. If August is gone for good, then we're going to have a problem here. This is going to be a huge problem. This chapter in and of itself will be a huge problem if August is gone for good. And you know what? I'll be kind of fine with Gildarts being August. I'm going to say that right now. I mean, Gildarts is really strong, so I could kind of see that happening. To say the very least, I'm quite disappointed that August is actually going to be taken out this quick. I can see why, I guess, because Gildarts would be capable of taking him out, as he is a very, very strong character and did actually find out the ins and outs of August's magic, August's weakness, etc., etc. But I feel as if there's just still something wrong with it. However, this is practically committing suicide with no repercussions for the enemy whatsoever. If he isn't actually dead right here, then this is not as big of a problem as I'm making it out to be. But if he is, we definitely have some problems here. For those of you guys who are unaware, August is actually Spriggan number 1 and is likely even the strongest of the Spriggan 12, which is a group of characters who are hyped up to be this absolutely insane force that was headed by the most notorious dark mage within the entire world of Fairy Tail, Xerath Dragneel. However, they're flawed in numerous ways because of this. I know just out of the gate, I'm going to get flamed for this and flamed pretty hard as well, but I've decided that I'm done. I am absolutely done not expressing the entirety of my opinion in terms of Fairy Tail. Oh boy, Hiro Mashima. Let's talk about Hiro Mashima a little bit. He's a great writer in some respects, but flawed in others. He really does stand out in terms of characters' flashbacks, example being with Eileen's flashback back in 515, and people all across the Fairy Tail community were calling chapter 515 of Fairy Tail chapter of the year, and I'm not going to deny that it was a fantastic chapter as far as Fairy Tail goes as well. Hiro Mashima is absolutely fantastic at hyping characters up to a fault. He hypes them up, but so much of the execution is so poor when it comes to these characters. Hence the hype for people like Eileen, especially added on to with chapter 515, where people were thinking that Urza would never, ever in all of her years be able to beat basically the mother of people like Akane Logan, mother in a figurative sense, of course, but we saw how that went down in 519 with the execution side of things. This has been the problem with really all the Spriggans. A group hyped up to be this huge force that will never be stopped hasn't taken down a main character, a character part of the main cast once, which to say the very least is surprising and shouldn't happen. To improve this flaw, I think that Hiro Mashima in the future needs to stop listening to people who don't want death to happen within Fairy Tail. This is a war. People die. Get over it. And don't even bring up Makarov, because first of all, he's a side character. Nobody gives a fuck about Makarov except for a few people. He's the master of Fairy Tail. But then again, he's a side character. And second of all, his death even felt forced itself. It wasn't even a good death. He just got taken out one chapter. No, not even the slightest bit of foreshadowing that Makarov would die. Just dead. He's an old man. He's dead. I'm talking about the main cast right now. I know that Hiro Mashima said that he wanted to make Fairy Tail contrast to Rave Master in the sense of having a happy ending as opposed to a sad ending. However, there are many ways to have characters die and still have a happy ending, and I don't think that Hiro Mashima realizes that along with the remainder of this community. Fact of the matter is, this is a war arc. A war arc. People are supposed to die. It is as well, on top of that, the final arc of Fairy Tail. Yet no major deaths whatsoever on the Fairy Tail side of things. Now we have August over here, the son of Xerath and Mavis, and he's about to be taken out himself. Spriggan number 1. All the Spriggans will be taken out by that point in time. Sure, we have Xerath and Akane Logan to look forward to. However, with the way things have been going, I'm not even too sure how much faith I have in them, which is really saying something. That right there is my actual opinion on this arc thus far. People will likely bring up past videos where I said that this arc was amazing and whatnot, all that shit, but I want to point out that that was around the time where END versus Grey was going on, and up until the point where Urza stepped in. You know what? Fuck Urza. Fuck Urza. I'm gonna say that right now. It was a fantastic fight. This arc, in my opinion, has been very bad, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks. It bites me in the ass that this is the final arc of Fairy Tail. Just absolutely awful. Rants aside, though, we see Mavis get her hands on the book of END, which is actually going to lead some very interesting turnouts, seeing as we have not seen Xerath actively fighting one another, a fight I really hope Hero doesn't bust, but at this point in time, I can really see it being fucked up. As well, we have a very interesting confrontation taking place between Natsu and Zeref, where Natsu's actually trying to kind of snap Zeref out of this current mentality. I'm honestly surprised though that Natsu didn't just kind of like wither away right there, seeing as he was touching Zeref, and we know whenever somebody touches Zeref or gets even close to Zeref, Zeref kind of just, you know, kills him on the spot. However, he was touching Zeref's clothes, so I can kind of see why Zeref's magic didn't work on him in that instance. To say the very least, it was a very, very touching scene. I really just wish that we could see some younger Natsu and Zeref, just see that dynamic back over 400 years ago, and I really hope the Hero will give us some insight into that come the future of Fairy Tail. This was actually a pretty good part of the chapter. From the looks of it though, Natsu just has to beat Zeref, then he will actually disappear, but to combat that, Fairy Tail will actually put forth all their magic to keep Natsu alive or something like that. Not too sure how exactly that'll work. Interesting nonetheless though. As well, something really interesting on top of this is that we see Mavis see kind of like a hologram of August, kind of like a flashback of her own child, and if August doesn't straight up kick the bucket right here, right now, it'll be very interesting to see what dynamic August shares with Mavis, if he even knows who his true mother is. And it would be really cool if August doesn't kick the bucket, because then he could actually be given the love and affection that he needs and deserves by Mavis as her son, the affection that he's craved for oh so long, and could even possibly use this to turn him against Zeref. But again, I don't even know if August will make it past this chapter, I'm not gonna lie. When it does come down to it though, there's just so much flaws with this series, Fairy Tail. Oh my god, if August does come back, then I don't really believe this chapter was as bad as I was making out to be within this video. But overall though, I didn't particularly enjoy this chapter because of this. The Natsu vs. Zeref stuff was really cool, but the rest was, oh boy, didn't sit well with me. Leave a like to show your support, subscribe if you're new. Peace.